Bucks, go Bucks. Go Bucks, go Bucks. Go Bucks, go Bucks. Go Bucks, go Bucks. First and goal, we gotta tough it out. Get in the end zone and call a hot route. O-line a beast, Mike run the street. Can have Humphreys run right underneath. You know it's Bucks ball, we got the hardest D. Bring the pressure to the QB. You know it's routine, we got Hargreaves. Welcome to Tampa, welcome to Tampa. Go Bucks, go Bucks. Reppin' for my team. Go Bucks, go Bucks. You know we want the ring. Go Bucks, go Bucks. Welcome to the Bay. Go Bucks, go Bucks. Tune in with Buccaneer Blade. Doug's back, we can run the toss. Mike Evans looking like Randy Moss. And Jameis making play after play. On the defense, you can't stop Levante. On my boy McCoy, who you can't avoid. At the Raymond James, you about to feel the pain. If you a Bucks fan, make a lot of noise. If you a Bucks fan, make a lot of noise. Bucks, go Bucks.
And we're back. Wanji, Okalachi. Alright, so what we're going to do here is go over, let's start it off. Cavs won. Welcome back to a live stream, another edition of Monday's edition of Buccaneer Blake Sports. Buck and Blake Sports with your host, Buccaneer Blake himself. As you see on the notes, we're going to go over all the entire draft grades, my thoughts, your thoughts, and all that good jazz. I'll try to do this as quickly as possible since there's 32 teams, and the Bucks being one of them. And we're just going to go down there by alphabetical order. Get the questions and stuff later. As always, you put it down there. If you missed today's shows, www.buckandblakesports.com, DRT.com, IG, Twitter, or Yahoo. So let's go down the line. Arizona Cardinals. Arizona Cardinals picked a pick. What we wanted was Buda Baker. They took him, but they drafted pretty good. They took Hassan Riddick from Temple. They picked up the guard Dorian Johnson, who should get some playing time early. The only thing that was puzzling that they didn't get a quarterback. So I take it they're probably going to ride out this last year with Carson Palmer, see where that lands, and then after that, I don't know. Atlanta Falcons, Super Bowl runner-up. Good, interesting to see how they fare, because you know what happens with teams after they lose a Super Bowl. They usually don't fare too well. But Atlanta traded up back in the first round, and then back in the second round, when they picked up levels of the defense, and they got a pass rusher and a cornerback. We'll see how that turns out with the addition of Dontari Poe, the $10 million contract. Rockberg. We'll see how that goes. Baltimore Ravens. Another year. It's another draft for Ravens GM Ozzie Newsome collects praise for his moves. Baltimore's defensive-heavy draft. The first pick came on that side of the ball. The Valiant defensive lineman Corey Wormley stands out of his class. Chris Wormley, defensive lineman that they drafted. If you're not sure, check out the highlights of him. As I said, I can't really get long into detail because I got to go through every team. Rothberg, I'm going to get to yours because you guys made me mad. Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills got credit. They dropped down from the 10 spot, and they acquired a first-round pick in 2018. Finding starters with those first two selections, and they'll be praised for finding starters with the first two picks. Buffalo's, sticking with the QB. They didn't go another quarterback. So it's going to be interesting to see what's going on in New York Buffalo team. So see what's going on with that. They got pretty good draft grades, a B, I believe. Panthers, my division rival. Taking pressure off of Cam Newton. I guess we got pretty high marks. They didn't really get too much pass protection for him. They took Chris McCaffrey and Curtis Samuel. Excuse me. Curtis Samuel. Two little guys. Offensive players that can pass and run a little bit. A lot of people put B. Some people got a C grade for it because you didn't really still protect, Cam Newton. They're still going to put in faith in Michael Lohr. So we'll see how that goes. But they pretty much went skill players on offense. Calvin Benjamin. I called this earlier. I said he was a Reese's Pieces away from being overweight as a wide receiver. He's coming in now at 280 pounds. Ouch. 6'5", 280. As a wideout, not much speed is going to be happening there. So we'll see how that goes, because he could be on his way out. Much like what happened to Mike Williams. He got up to that size too. Chicago Bears, oh God, they got destroyed. The fans are pissed. The Bears got ripped from moving up in the draft to take Mitchell Trubisky at number 2. Now, and that everything is C's or D grade. Only drafted one defensive player. What's intriguing about you taking? He's a UNC boy. You guys know I'm a UNC Tar Heel fan, and what's intriguing about that is that you picked up a player that only played 1 year as a starter and played 13 games, which you had Deshaun Watson, who's basically dominated college football. But he does have a lot of interceptions. But I guess if you want the permanent pocket passer, I guess their plan is to pick him up, let him sit the 3 years, see where Glennon is, and then come in and step in. If that's the case, then hopefully it works out. Otherwise than that, I guess Glennon is just there to get as many wins as he possibly could. And then Mitchell Trubisky will step in, or they'll trade Glennon, or whatever the case may be. If that's their plan, we'll see. Only time will tell. They didn't really upgrade much, so Chicago, my head, they should be picking in the top 10 next season. Cincinnati Bengals, they surprised me by picking John Ross, but A.J. Green did need help. Feeling about the Bengals draft centered around selection running back Joe Mixon. They took a chance on him in the second round, and about him punching a woman in the face. That's done with. They came out with a civil settlement, so that should be gone now, but everybody will continue to talk about it. Hey, people want to bash him. I said this before. I said if everybody wants to, if these women rights activists, okay, yeah, I know you're listening. I said these women's rights activists, he punched a woman in the face. I'm not saying that's right. I don't care what he said. You didn't have to bash that girl in the face like that. I said pushing her off of you or whatever. She put her hands on you. I said only time I see a woman, get decked like that, unless she's trying to fight you like a man or something like that. But my thing is, I said, if you want to bash Joe Mixon, go for it. I said, but don't sit up here and support Chris Brown, though. Don't support an artist that's a known woman beater, but go after Joe Mixon just because he's an athlete. Just saying. Chris Brown's a woman beater, known woman beater, and you still support him. That's all I'm saying. So they got some grades. They got pretty much I'd say around a B-. They pretty much got with their draft with those picks. Like I said, those are we'll wait and see. We got a crowded backfield already. Like I said, we'll see how that goes. It's hard to say. Cleveland Browns. Some people got them as A's or B's. Hell, I haven't seen a C grade with that because they kind of took all levels there. They took the defensive line. They took safety position with Peppers. We all know it was Myles Garrett. And then you took the tight end, Njoku. So, like I said, you took all different levels there, not just one side of the ball. You kind of try to touch everything. So we'll see how that goes. Oh, God. Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys, they took Taco Carlton, of course, and then Chidobe Awuzie, which is a good corner, and Jordan Lewis. If you see me looking down, I'm looking at my notes. I put up a blog about Awuzie. He's a pretty solid corner from Colorado. We'll see how that turns out. I don't know much about Jordan Lewis. Taco Carlton's a big, long defensive end from Michigan. And they got the sleeper in the draft was Ryan Switzer. Somebody I told you about, for a while now. Punt returner, great receiver. You about to find out what this kid's all about. And he went to Dallas. Oh, Lord. Beasley's on me out of a job, as this kid is a beast. Denver Broncos, slowly moving around. Denver's draft got kind of knocked because they reached for a few picks. Chris Burke of SI said the Broncos were picking off several needs. They stated by selling offensive tackle they needed in the first round. But was Garrett Bowles the right one. They picked up Jake Butt and a tight end. And like I said, I don't know. I don't know how much effect Jake Butt's going to take. Is he really a game changer? Denver Broncos draft wasn't really. I guess they took what they had at that time. They were just kind of all over the place. They didn't really have a main focal point. Like our focal point next year should be cornerback, offensive line. Yeah, quarterback, offensive line. Shoring up the secondary. Yeah, that should be our focal point next year. I think we got speed on that offense is what happened. We should be straight. We'll see. Injuries have a lot to do with it. Detroit Lions. Again, another draft that didn't really excite me. They didn't get a pass rusher. They did get the Florida hard-hitting linebacker, Jared Davis, is probably to replace their longtime starter that they had there. Sometimes I just draw a relapse and forget who I'm talking about. Levy that they had there for so long in Detroit. So I guess Jared Davis, old school kind of hit linebacker from Florida. They got him in the first round. So we'll see how that goes. Like I said, a lot of these picks we have to wait and see. But a lot of these teams, nothing was pretty amazing. Nothing was like outstanding except for a couple teams like the Browns who had multiple picks. Green Bay went and got T.J. Watt. That should be interesting. They'll actually play each other, not the physical on the field at the same time because they both play defense, but that should be interesting. Watt brothers in the league. They got two potential starters, Kevin King and Josh Jones, with their first two picks. The key to the draft could be Vince Beagle, who could be a team's future edge rusher for the team. Like I said, a lot of wait and see with these picks. It's a defensive loaded draft, and it's going to be kind of hard to see, right away. But we'll see. We'll see. Only time can tell. Houston Texans did their thing. Got the big back out of Texas, Dante Foreman, that I put up post about, and they got their quarterback, Deshaun Watson. I think he's going to throw a lot of interceptions. It's going to be a lot of growing pains. But you got your quarterback now. Now you can officially move forward, and good for them. They got what they needed. A lot of people don't like what they did, but we'll see what they do. We'll see. I'm pulling for Houston. We'll see what happens with that. Indianapolis Colts. They stole the safety Malik Hooker in the first round and Quincy Wilson in the second round. And they got a good value in Terrell Breeson in the third round, edge rusher. Something they need badly. The Colts need to fix their identity because right now they're all disarray right now. Andrew Luck's just got to get back on track. Got to establish a run game. Got to get a passing game, consistent passing game, and some protection. So we'll see what's going on with the Colts here coming up this year. Oh God, Jacksonville Jaguars. It's hard to solidify the Jags in a draft because what they do is just spend all the money in free agency. But they picked up, I thought a player they reached for was Cam Robinson, and I don't know about. Let's see what happens with Larry Fournette. You want to establish a run game. When Larry Fournette was when he has a lot of good highlights, but when he was asked to play against a pro-style defense, he couldn't deliver. He was non-existent. And I was talking about Alabama. Ever since that year when he was on the Heisman run and kind of fell apart when Derrick Henry won, is at the game after Alabama when everybody realized Larry Fournette couldn't take over a game. When you game plan for him, much like Adrian Peterson did his entire league, you line 10 men up in the box and Adrian Peterson can still bust out for a big run. I don't think Leonard Fournette can do that. And then Cam Robinson, the offensive lineman from Alabama. Like I said, I'm a huge Alabama supporter, but their offensive linemen don't really turn out in the league too well. Like I said, a lot of we'll wait and see. Chiefs drafted him way too early. My boy from my African friend from the Ivory Coast. From out of Villanova, defensive end. I think that was way too early that they drafted. They did pick up Kareem Hunt. They're gonna need a running game after. What's up, Dad? That's it. After Jamal Charles is gone, and Kareem Hunt should help them out. And they did pick up a quarterback, Patrick Holmes, in the first round. Again, we'll see. young quarterback, slings the ball a lot, makes a lot of bonehead picks. But Andy Reid should be good with quarterbacks like that. I think he's like a little quarterback guru. L.A. Chargers. They said they were graded out for having one of the best drafts. They picked up Forrest Lamb, picked up big receiver Mike Williams in the first round, then going defensive back Desmond King, and a lot of people said the 151st pick, he was an unquestioned steal. So they got a lot of high grades there. Like I said, they took what was available on the board and picked it up what they needed, and it just ended up working out that way. Good job, Chargers. Hopefully Phillip Rivers, can get something going out there in L.A. I know he's a North Carolina guy. He doesn't like the whole big city, but yeah, he'll be all right. Where we at? L.A. Rams. Oh Lord. I said the Rams might have gathered one of the worst grades of any team. Like that franchise, I don't know what's going on with them. What up, Gerald? I don't know what's going on with that team. You picked up Jared Goff last year. You picked up Cooper Kupp and Gerald Everett. They were top 3 at their positions in the draft. The highest grade they got was like a C. I don't know what's going on with the Rams. They just moved from St. Louis and you just bring the same drama to LA. So like I said, we'll have to wait and see on that. Dolphins are trying to make moves. Like I said, they still believe in their in their quarterback. Ryan Tannehill used to make commitments, so they must have heard me when I said you got to have establishment of head coaches and quarterbacks, and they're still trying to stay the course. I can commend that you're trying to stay the course and not try to break down, start over. It just don't work like that sometimes. But they did get offensive linemen. They did get Charles Harris. That's going to help out because you got one on both sides of the line. That line, got kind of charred and it's old, and you lost your one pass rusher to the Detroit. Stream looks good, bro. Amen. Let you finish, but I want to say Dallas had one of the greatest drafts of all time. We'll see. You guys stole my. I told you earlier I passed Dallas already, Gerald. They stole my boy Ryan Switzer from UNC. The boy's finna light it up, and it's gonna be breaking my heart. The Dolphins, they did up the defensive line and offensive line. So let's see where it goes with that. Wide receiver is still in question on that team. Minnesota Vikings found out just recently Teddy Bridgewater, they will not pick up his 5th-year option. So it looks like Teddy Bridgewater will be casted out, and Sam Bradford will be the future quarterback of that team. I'll let Stephen A. go into details about that when he goes on First Take, when he hears about all that, as I'm not going to get in on. He'll say it a lot better than I will about that kind of situation. The grades are all over the place with Minnesota. They did get a top 10 talent in Dalvin Cook in the second round. They picked up an offensive lineman, Pat Illman, and Vikings might not have very many stars, so their draft grades were kind of all over the place. But overall, I think it may be because of the Dalvin Cook pick. Now I know what you're thinking. Why didn't the Bucs draft Dalvin Cook? Let me explain something to you. One, we were 4 games away from being 12-4. I said those were all close games. We lost the Rams, Dallas, I forget the other 2 off the top of my head. And we had zero existence of a running game. So drafting running back at 19 was not that important. Not in this league, not in this day and age. You can draft backs late in the later rounds. Just like you're about to find out this season coming up. With all these guys coming back healthy and everything. Where am I at? But yeah, Minnesota's gonna make some change. Their receivers have got to deliver. What's up, Dave? I haven't got the big blue yet. Their receivers have got to step up. Offensive line has got to step up. I don't think they got enough help on the O-line. That's just me personally. You got Mike Remmers, the guy that everybody remembers gave up all the sacks in the Super Bowl. But we'll see. We'll wait and see. New England Patriots didn't really have a pick till the 3rd round, I believe. They did most of their work already in the offseason. You got Dalvin Cooks and Conley early this offseason. I can't believe you let them get both of those guys. And then picked up pass rushers Derek Rivers and Dietrich Wise, and offensive lineman Antonio Garcia and Connor McDermott. They got a lot of B's. I think about B overall with the players that they got. As their draft was really in the off season, and then a lot of these guys were filling guys, or possible starters, because Belichick likes guys that fits a certain scheme on their team. Saints went defense again. Marshawn Lattimore in the first round, Ryan Razmick, and Alvin Kamara might find it hard to get playing time early in their careers. I've said this before. I sent it to Mark Ingram. How many times are you going to slap Mark Ingram in the face after you draft the Heisman Trophy winner and you just constantly bring in other backs? He's never been the premier back since he's been in New Orleans. I just don't know why he continues to stay there. The Saints went defense. Like I said, a lot of wait and sees. You picked up Sheldon Rankins last year. You still got Jordan Cameron. We'll see. Like I said, we'll see. I know I keep saying that. It's just a lot of wait and see. So it's all about schemes, guys fitting in, calling the right plays at the right time, guys knowing their assignments, side adjustments, and all. It's like you can't really say until you start watching some tape on a pro level. You have a little more answers during preseason to see how they go. And now finally, Dave's New York Giants. There's a question about the Giants draft. You taking basically a receiver at tight end with Evan Ingram in the first round, and then tackle Dalvin Tomlinson in the second. I said, did they also miss out on their need by not picking up a quarterback? He picked up Davis Webb in the third round, but I don't know. Eli Manning's not getting any younger, and right now would have been a nice time to have a quarterback there learning. And then coming ready in year 3 or wherever, year 2 or year 4, however that plays out. So they got a lot of C's, like low B's, high C grade in the draft. The New York Jets, Jets, Jets. The draft started all right. They picked up Jamal Adams at 6, the big safety at LSU. After that much. The draft got planned, no quarterback. Waiting to the 6th round to get a corner was confusing. So I don't know what's going on with the Jets. They still kind of want to keep that Jets defense, kind of like the same, but not really. And then then the quarterback carousel. It's just a mess, man. You just got to say, look, we're gonna do this, and then go to make moves. Get these people out of here. Stick with the guys you're going to stick with, and then just do that. Move from there. Just right now, I think they're trying to dilly-dally in too many things at one point. Come with a serious plan and then move forward. We need a quarterback badly. Yes, what I was saying, Dave. You guys missed out on a quarterback in that draft. You took you took a receiver that was a tight end. He's not even a tight end that could block, because this guy cannot block whatsoever. He's like 230 pounds or something like that. He's way too small to even consider a run blocking threat. That's why a guy like David Njoku or O.J. Howard would have been more beneficial to you, but you sat there and let him fall down to us. What up, Ramirez, Josh? I don't know what these guys are thinking. Like I said, you get a lot of wait and sees. We'll see what happens. Too light in the behind, definitely. You're going to find that out, because he's not going to be in on run plays. He's not going to be able to block. Not much like a Jeremy Shockey or stuff like that. He was one of my favorite tight ends for you guys, too. Raiders. Raiders got credit for the draft by Obi Melifonwu, fell to the 2nd round, and Gary and Conley. It didn't surprise me. Conley's with those rape accusations. We'll see how that fares. And then Obi Melifonwu, they can afford to do that because they're already loaded on the team, so they can plug him in and he can learn to play. But a lot of things with him, he's 6'4", he's a giant, but he gets stood up by little receivers. So he's not coming in there with an attitude problem. And in this league, you got to have an attitude problem, or son, you're going to get exposed, and they're going to talk about you too. It's like almost like a prison environment, man. If they find out you weak, they're going to roll on you. And that ain't good. And now finally, the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm going to start off. You guys stole my Mac Hollins from UNC. That's Mike Evans Jr. I'm mad. I'm calling it now. That guy's going to be nice. He wore 13 at UNC. You about to find out. But to prove, the Eagles drafted a need They picked up, pretty much they tried to relive the Reggie White. You picked up Derek Barnett, where Reggie White came from, and Barnett broke Reggie White's record. Finally, the Eagles draft him. In the first round, cornerback Sidney Jones, Rasul Douglas on the drafts on the second day when the grades are done at Element. They might have a hinge, Jones is healthy and playing as expected. I think a lot of B grades on this draft. We'll see. Like I said, we'll see how it goes. You're picking up a lot of nice pieces, and you got to keep it together. Now the Pittsburgh Steelers, they picked up Juju on that beat. Juju out of USC. His tape didn't really blow me away. I've known about him since he was a freshman. And then they picked up T.J. Watt. Did I say Green Bay? I was wrong earlier. Green Bay did not pick up T.J. Watt. Steelers picked up T.J. Watt. And they're both in the AFC. So, like I said, we'll see how that goes. When they get a chance to play each other, that's going to be highlighted. They're going to ask them 1,000,001 question. What's it going to be like to play your brother? Same thing with Peyton and Eli. But Steelers know how to find receivers. And a lot of it I have to give credit to Big Ben for extending plays, and these guys can get open downfield. Without Big Ben, I think this is Ben's last ride. Without Ben, I don't know what's going to go on. I don't know what's going to happen with the Steelers. And Ben already can't control Martavis Bryant and Le'Veon Bell. These guys are just running rampant, doing whatever they want to do. It's just interesting. What up, Miss Sutherland and Mr. Sutherland? It's just going to be interesting what's going to happen in Pittsburgh over these next years. I've always been a fan of the way the Pittsburgh Steelers run their team, so it's going to be interesting what's going to happen when they have to scramble for a quarterback again. San Francisco 49ers, my cousin's team. They should have one of the best defensive lines in the league. He spent 3 first-round picks on defensive line 3 consecutive years. Eric Armstead. I always forget the other guy's name. It'll come to me. The other Oregon player, both 6'7", and then you picked up one of my favorites, Solomon Thomas out of Stanford. So we'll see what's going on. I think John Lynch is doing everything right. You want to establish dominance on the defense, and then lean on the run game, a short passing game with your quarterback. I think they did a good job not stretching for a QB in this draft. Going to wait to find their quarterback. I think it'll be Kirk Cousins next year, because I don't think Washington Redskins will franchise tag him for a $40 million one-year contract. And I think Kirk Cousins wants out of Washington. They've left that man with nothing. Dan Snyder's a terrible GM. Sorry, Mike Newman. Dan Snyder's a terrible owner. And we'll see how that goes with that. But John, I keep an eye on San Francisco now. 1, because I grew up a Niner fan as a child. And 2, John Lynch is the GM there. So I'm kind of pulling for the guys. One of my favorites, Seattle Seahawks. They loaded up on that line. Sorry, I'm looking at my notes. When Seattle was given a low grade in the draft, when they picked up KJ Wright and cornerback Richard Sherman, everybody was like, what the hell are they picking? Yeah, come to find out, look what happened. The draft was given good grades because they took Malik McDowell. Oh, Lord, he's going to create havoc on that defensive line from Michigan State, and offensive lineman Evan Pollock in the second round. They're loading up on the line, and they've given a B grade, and they picked up Seattle-type players. Happy Feet, I know him. And a little Happy Feet. Buddy Love, what's up, buddy? Yes, that's what I thought, buddy. They couldn't franchise tag him again, and that's why I said I'm not sure now if they could. It would be experiment. It would be be even a longer contract. Not longer, but a more expensive deal. So we'll see. Like I said, I think he'll be in San Francisco next year, Kirk Cousins. Sherman got exposed. Define exposed. I said everybody like to say that Patrick Peterson was the best cornerback in the league, I think, a couple of years ago. And Patrick Peterson was, on paper, the worst corner in the league because he gave up the most touchdowns in the league. Everybody kept, because that was around the era where everybody kept saying, man-to-man corner or a zone corner or coverage corner. I said, what difference does it make? Are you giving up touchdowns or aren't you? But Patrick Peterson was a man-to-man corner and gave it the most touchdowns in the league. So, I mean, define, being, that's what I thought too. Like I said, define being exposed. You do get beat on plays because Richard Sherman plays against the best corners, the best receivers on the team, like you should. But I think the whole team was bad as a whole last year. They're getting older. They don't have the spark that they once had. Losing Marshawn Lynch was a hurt piece. Like I said, the defense took a little step back. You got to remember, these guys been balling with no matter who they plugged in on the other side on the cornerback spot. No, you don't. What, buddy? Seattle, like I said, Seattle, they've been a tight core for a long time, and I think they still could. I think if you want to trade Richard Sherman, now be the time. He still has value. Sherman plays one side the whole game. That's true. I said, like I said that before, I said there was an argument. I said, you say a zone coverage corner or a man coverage corner. Like I said before, I said everybody's having that argument between Patrick Peterson. Yeah, all right, they're left. Yeah, you're correct. There was an argument, like I said, between man coverage corner and zone coverage corner. And I kept saying, well, what difference does it make? Either you're giving up touchdowns or you're not. And like I said, Patrick Peterson gave up the most touchdowns in the league. He was labeled, like, if you look at it, the worst cornerback of the year. And that was one of one of everybody's favorite corners. He was giving touchdowns to everybody. I think over 10. I have to look it back up. But yeah, he plays one side of the field. And you look at it either way, Champ Bailey was the first. So if you do that, you limit the offense to the middle of the field and the other side of the field. And that's easy. And so now you can roll all your other covers to the other side of the field if one man shuts down one side of the field. So I'm saying, if you get, like you say you get exposed, you're gonna get beat sometimes. You're an older player now, and you ain't gonna stop everybody. The fact is, are you gonna stop people when you need to stop them? I'm a Richard Sherman fan. A lot of people like to bash Sherman. I don't know why. Because the only times Richard Sherman ever got on people is when they got on him. And the fact that why people didn't like Richard Sherman is because when he got on you, it was after what you had already said about him and he bested you. So now you're mad at him. That's the reason I liked Richard Sherman. He was well educated. I never even heard the man curse. And everybody's said all these negative things about him. That's just like, I've seen people do worse, and you hate them less than you hate Richard Sherman. That's all I got to say about that. My model person, never been in trouble outside football, whatever. It is what it is. Now let's get to my Tampa Bay Buccaneers. O.J. Howard, that's going to open up a lot of things, because now Cam Brate can play down the tight end spot. Howard can go out the slot and play on a linebacker or a corner. It's going to be interesting. And then you got Chris Godwin. You can line up a 4 wide receiver set, 5 receiver set with tight end and a receiver. Now you got speed on all different levels. Like I said, it opens up a lot of things now. You just got to make the right read and throw the ball. Like I said, we'll see. And I think the draft got downgraded a little bit because we got the safety Justin Evans, which we wanted Budda Baker, but we had to get a safety and drafted what you needed. So we'll see. Justin Evans has a lot of speed. Like I said, I think his target when he hits receivers is a little too high. You can come in on running backs like that, but you can't come in on receivers like that. So he's going to have to learn to pick a target point lower on the receiver so he doesn't get penalized. But I think he should move in and play. I think receivers will be scared to catch the ball with him around. So we'll see how it goes. I just hope he settles in good and roams around and makes a lot of great plays for this team. We got the running back in the 5th round. He's a little receiver. He's a receiving back, so Charles Sims got to get himself together. I was always an advocate for Charles Sims, but he's getting injured and he's getting chances to play, and he's just not capitalizing on them. Doug Martin will be back. I guess Doug Martin has looked really good this offseason, so they didn't even sniff a running back early in the rounds. So we'll see how it goes. We got a B grade around there. The Titans. He picked up Adoree Jackson and Corey Davis. Corey Davis, I just don't think he's going to do anything in Tennessee. Adoree Jackson, That's the speedy corner out of USC. If you want to know about Adoree Jackson, pop on the tape, and Chris Godwin obliterates him in the Penn State versus USC game. Look, Kia, you're always gone. You vanish so much. What's going on, little Kia? Adoree Jackson gets roasted by Godwin, Chris Godwin in the Penn State versus USC game. Like I said, watch the game. Godwin's number 12 and Adoree Jackson's number 2, and yeah, he makes a couple of nice plays on the speedy corner. You can have all the speed, but if you don't have no ball skills, it doesn't make a difference. And that was what the difference was in the old Tennessee corner that they picked up that keeps getting in trouble. God, I just get brain fart sometimes. When they kept getting in trouble with the law, and he's in the Bengals now. But he was speed and he had ball skills, and that made a huge difference. And let's get to the Washington Redskins. Which Michigan player do you think is going to play outside of Peppers? Michigan player? Taco Carlton. Remember we went to Dallas Cowboys, and that's going to break your heart. It's going to be interesting to see where Jabril Peppers plays, because I was scared of him, Dave, in the draft, because he doesn't really have a set position. You use that a linebacker, you use that a corner, or you use that a safety, and that's nice having versatility. But if you don't really have a set position that you can focus on, like, yeah, okay, my staple is this. Like I said, I'll just use myself for example. I played 2 spots growing. I played linebacker and I played defensive end. It was a pain a little bit to switch from my hand in the dirt to playing linebacker. My sight adjustments are different. I'm used to engaging in a lineman every play, and now going to linebacker where I'm supposed to avoid blocks this time instead of taking them on. And I think that was my biggest issue in my head playing linebacker at that time, because I think that's what I'm supposed to engage the lineman instead of not engaging it, if that makes sense to you. And the same thing would be with the reads of that. You playing linebacker or corner or something like that. I thought Jabril Peppers going to Arizona, much like using Deion Buchanan, which was a safety converted to a linebacker in their defense, I guess because they run nickel a lot, and he could drop down and make tackles and make plays. So, well, we'll see how that goes. Washington got some high scores for landing Alabama defensive lineman Jonathan Allen in the first round, and they picked up one of my favorite running backs in the first one, Samja Pareem. Cleveland? What about Cleveland? You got to give me more than that. Pareem, running back out of Oklahoma, little guy, little short Jones-Drew type player. Yeah, they need to establish a run game again to see how that goes. Oh man, that was a lot, man. I didn't think I'd make it through all the teams. I went through them A through Z. What about Cleveland, Dave? What is it about Cleveland? What's up, Lewis? Peppers went to Cleveland. Yeah, he went to Cleveland. Like I said, they picked up Myles Garrett. They picked up Peppers, and they picked up my African homie, David Njoku. I said I'm repping the Africa, Uganda for you. All right, we're back. Rocking it for him. But let me get out of here, man. That's too much I had to ramble on. Thanks, guys, for contributing. Thanks, guys, for watching. We'll end this how we always do. You're the master of everything. What you do with your life, what you do with it is entirely up to you. Thank you, y'all. God bless. And I'll see you Wednesday.
And we still East Coast. Yeah. Whoa. You already know it's good morning. It's Snoop Boy scaring niggas like a Ouija board. Seeing is believing, honestly, I can't see you boys. Best to debate, I roll up and blow my verses away. They wanna know how I do it, they've been lurking for days. Still haven't figured a nigga out. Smoking out on the couch with real niggas, man, I feel like a scout. Cause all I do is trap bitches, train them up for you niggas. They come back every day and say they done with you niggas. I talk a lot of shit, but mean it in the best way. I don't fuck with you niggas, I read you like an x-ray. I can see a lot of bitch in you from your display. Watch the nuke drop from above versus DK. Your body like Miley Cyrus, nobody's just zombie virus. Mind you, I'm just a pirate, smoking get high like pilots. Man, a couple grand, I bury them in the sand. Son of Saddam, I'm bombing on niggas like it's Iran. Swoosh, yeah. I feel like Nike gave me a deal. I'm on the road, just cruising like 4 wheels. I'm a flywheel made of indestructible steel. My power can't be controlled. I'm undertaking your soul. My chokehold sick like catching a cold. Got that medication, good weed, we redefine gravitation. OG, I take off with no hesitation. I'm stacking up while you hating. And most women love me like fornication. I feel I'm real. I was on 22nd and late with the spill and some more. Saw the cops had to go. 40 seconds later, niggas rolled up, said you know. Snub nose to my dome, I was sweating the cold. Damn, I lost all my shit. My girl said get a grip, I lost all my grip. No hooks, nigga, look, if you leave your shit, I'ma take what you left, my 16s or this. It don't take much just to get your chick to strip, but that's another story. Had her on them blues, now I call her Dory. I'm on the corner with a 40 in a new category, it's new. Blow up the city and rebuild it. TV fitted, you know I killed it. Saw the house, the shit just got real and we just filmed it.